Hi there. So we are on day 187, fully 6 months into our Through the Bible in 1 year. We are still talking about the Kings and reading two chapters, one in yeah, 2 Kings 14 and 2 Chronicles 25. And also the same story. Okay, these are pretty much the same, So let's get into it. In the second year of Israel's king Jehoash, son of Jehoahaz, Amaziah, son of Joash, became the king of Judah. He was 25 years old when he became king, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. A long time. His mother's name was Jehoaddan. See a common thread there? And was from Jerusalem. He did what was right in the Lord's sight, but not like his ancestor David. He did everything his father Joash had done. Yet the high places were not taken away, and the people continued sacrificing and burning incense on the high places. As soon as the kingdom was firmly in his grasp, Amaziah killed his servants who had murdered his father, the king. However, he did not put the children of the murderers to death, as it is written in the book of the law of Moses, where the Lord commanded, fathers must not be put to death because of children, and children must not be put to death because of fathers. Yeah. Instead, each one would be put to death for his own sin. Amaziah killed 10,000 Edomites in the Valley of Salt. He took Selah in the battle and called it Joktheel, which is its name to this very day. Amaziah then sent messengers to Jehoash, son of Jehoahaz, son of Jehu, king of Israel, saying, "Come, let us meet face to face." King Jehoash of Israel sent word to Amaziah, king of Judah, saying, "The thistle that was in Lebanon once sent a message to the cedar that was in Lebanon, saying, 'Give your daughter to my son as a wife.' Then a wild animal was sent in Lebanon, passed by, and trampled the thistle. You have indeed defeated Edom, and you will become overconfident. Enjoy your glory and stay at home. Why should you stir up such trouble that you fall, you and Judah with you?" He's threatening them, right? But Amaziah would not listen. So King Jehoash of Israel advanced. He and King Amaziah of Judah faced off at Beth-Shemesh, that belongs to Judah. Judah was routed before Israel, and everyone fled to his own tent. King Jehoash of Israel captured Judah's king Amaziah, son of Joash, son of Amaziah, Bethsaida. Then Jehoash sent into Jerusalem and broke down 200 yards of Jerusalem's wall, from Ephraim gate to the corner gate. He took all the gold and silver and the articles and found in the Lord's temple and in the treasuries of the king's palace and some hostages. Then he returned to Samaria. Jehoash's death. See, now he's dead, right? The rest of the events Joash reigned, along with his accomplishments, his might, and how he waged war against Amaziah, king of Judah, are written in the historical record of Israel's kings. Jehoash rested with his father. He was buried in Samaria with the kings of Israel. His son Jeroboam became king in his place. Amaziah's death. Judah's king Amaziah, son of Joash, lived 15 years after the death of Israel, king Jehoash, son of Ahaz. The rest of the events of his reign are written in the historical record of Judah's kings. A conspiracy was formed against him in Jerusalem, and he fled to Lachish. However, men were sent after him into Lachish, and they put him to death there. Well, they carried him back on horses, and he was buried in Jerusalem with his fathers in the city of David. That's a wicked stuff, huh? Then all the people of Judah took Azariah, who was 16 years old, and made him king in place of his father Amaziah. He rebuilt Elath and restored it to Judah after Amaziah the king rested with his fathers. Israel's king Jeroboam. Don't worry, there will not be a test on these, okay? In the 15th year of Judah's king Amaziah, son of Joash, Jeroboam, son of Jehoash, became king of Israel in Samaria and reigned 41 years. He did what was evil in the Lord's sight. He did not turn away from all the sins Jeroboam, son of Nebat, caused Israel to commit. He restored Israel's border of Lebo-Hamath as far as the Sea of Arabah, according to the word of the Lord, the God of Israel, had spoken through his servant, the prophet Jonah, son of Amittai from Gath-Hepher. For the Lord saw that the affliction of Israel was very bitter. There was no one to help Israel, neither bond nor free. However, the Lord had not said he would blot out the name of Israel under heaven, so he delivered them by the hand of Jeroboam, son of Jehoash. The rest of the events of Jeroboam's reign, along with all his accomplishments, the power he had to wage war, and how he recovered for Israel Damascus and Hamath, which had belonged to Judah, are written in the historical records of Israel's kings. Jeroboam rested with his fathers, the king of Israel. His son Zechariah became king in his place. King Zechariah. Okay. Now let's read the whole thing over again, shall we, in 2 Chronicles. Amaziah became king when he was 25 years old and reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Jehoaddan. She was from Jerusalem. He did what was right in the Lord's sight, but not wholeheartedly. As soon as the kingdom was firmly in his grasp, he executed his servants who had murdered his father the king. However, he did not put their children to death, because it is written in the law, in the book of Moses, where the Lord commanded, deja vu, fathers must not because of children must not be because of fathers, but each one will die for his own sin. Then Amaziah gathered Judah and assembled them according to the ancestral house, according to commanders of thousands and according to the commanders of hundreds. He numbered those 20 years old or more. For all of Judah and Benjamin he found there to be 300,000 choice men who could serve in the army, bearing spear and shield. Then for 7,500 pounds of silver he hired 10,000 brave warriors from Israel. However, a man of God came to him and said, King, do not let Israel's army go with you, for the Lord is not with Israel, all the Ephraimites. But if you go with them, do it. Be strong for battle, but God will make you stumble before the enemy, for God has the power to help or to make one stumble. Then Amaziah said to the man of God, what should I do about the 7,500 pounds of silver I gave to Israel's division? The man of God replied, the Lord is able to give you much more than this. So Amaziah released the division that came to him from Ephraim to go home, but they got very angry with Judah and returned home in a fierce rage. Amaziah strengthened his position and led his people to the valley of Salt. He struck down 10,000 Seirites, and the Judahites captured 10,000 alive, and he took them to the top of a cliff where he threw them off, and all of them were dashed to pieces. Wow, that's mean. That's just the carnage in the Old Testament just blows me away sometimes. As for the men of the division that Amaziah sent back so they could not go with him in the battle, they raided the cities of Judah from Samaria to Beth-horon, struck down 3,000 of their people, and took a great deal of plunder. Well, after Amaziah came from the attack of the Edomites, he brought the gods of the Seirites and set them up as his gods. Hey, brother. He worshipped before them and burned incense to them, so the Lord's anger was against Amaziah, and he sent a prophet to him who said, why have you sought a people's gods that could not deliver their own people from your hand? While he was still speaking to him, the king asked, have we made you the king's counselor? Stop. Why should you lose your life? I'm going to kill you if you don't shut up. Yeah. So the prophet stopped, but he said, I know that God intends to destroy you because you have done this and have not listened to my advice. Amaziah's war with King Joash. Now, they kind of turned it around. They had this 1st and 2nd Kings. King Amaziah of Judah took counsel and sent word to Jehoash, son of Jehoash, son of Jehu, king of Israel, saying, son up, right? Come, let us meet face to face. King Jehoash of Israel sent word to King Amaziah of Judah, saying, the thistle that was in Lebanon sent a message to the cedar that was in Lebanon, saying, give your daughter to my son as a wife. The wild animal that was in Lebanon passed by and trampled the thistle. You have said, look, I have defeated Edom, and you have become overconfident that you will get glory. Now stay home. Stay at home. Why stir up such trouble so that you fall, and Judah with you? That's threats, huh? But Amaziah would not listen, for this turn of events was from God in order to hand them over to their enemies because they went after the gods of Edom. So Jehoash of Israel advanced, he and King Amaziah, and Judah faced off at Beth-shemesh in Judah. Judah was routed before Israel, and each fled to his own tent. King Jehoash of Israel captured Judah's king Amaziah, son of Joash, son of blah, 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 blah. Then Jehoash took him into Jerusalem and broke down 200 yards of Jerusalem's wall from Ephraim gate to the corner gate. He took all the gold and silver all the utensils that were found in Obed-Edom in God's temple, the treasures of the king's palace, and the hostages. Then he returned to Samaria. Amaziah would not listen. It's a little confusing. So King Jehoash of Israel advanced. He and King Amaziah faced off. Judah was routed before Israel, and each fled to his own tent. King Jehoash of Israel captured Judah's king Amaziah. Okay, weird. Amaziah's death. Judah's king Amaziah, son of Joash, lived 15 years after the death of Israel King Jehoash, son of Jehoahaz. The rest of the events of Amaziah's reign from beginning to end are written in the book of the kings of Judah of Israel and Israel. From the time Amaziah turned from following the Lord, a conspiracy was formed against him in Jerusalem, and he fled to Lachish. However, men were sent after him to Lachish, and they put him to death there. They carried him back on horses and buried him with his fathers in the city of Judah. So there you go. That's today's. More kings, more kings. Like I said, there will not be a test because I can't remember any of these kings I just read. Okay, except that their names are hard to pronounce. Okay. Well, tomorrow we're going to start Jonah. Jonah's an interesting story. He was kind of reckless, wasn't he? So that'll be a nice change reading about Jonah instead of all these kings. Okay, so cool. So there you have it. That is day 187 of Through the Bible in 1 year. Hopefully we got through all the kings. My goodness, there was a lot of kings. And you could probably count on one hand the ones who actually followed God and the ones who turned away. It's amazing. And you wonder why in the very beginning, when it was just Moses and the people said, we need a king. God said, I don't want to give you a king. You need to govern yourselves. But they insisted because God knew this would happen. He gave them a king. The king has ultimate authority and can do whatever he wants. He can kill anybody he wants. He can save anybody he wants. He can set up false gods and demand that his subjects worship the false gods. Not all of them did. Okay, many of them secretly never worshiped the false gods, but most did. So there you go. A story of kings. So there you have it. We'll continue this tomorrow with Jonah. I'm excited to get to something different for a change. But till then, keep reading. Give us a like if you think about it. Catch up on anything you may have missed. They're all listed down there. But we'll see you again tomorrow.